In the shadow of the most powerful city in the world, the Capital Golf Gang is on the air with instructor John Ronis from the Ronis Academy at River Creek, Executive Director of the Middle Atlantic PGA John Gould, and former University of Maryland golfer Ron Thomas. And now your host from Afternoon Drive on the Team 980 Radio in Washington, D.C., Steve Zabin.
Well, 2 out of 4 ain't bad. We are here live, plausibly so, at Golfdom in Tyson's Corner. And it's myself, it's John Ronis, with Buddy Christensen, owner of Golfdom, and my man, Bryant Hatcher, the Cincinnati Flash.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Winnipeg Blue Bomber. No, wait. Calgary Stampeder for how long?
1 year.
Right. The pride of Westfield's High.
Chantilly.
Yeah,
you're killing
messing
me,
it
man.
all up. I know. I've
there
only
was
known
no
you.
Westfield's High when I was in school.
That's
right.
true, but you played high school ball here, played at Cincinnati, and you and I have been chasing it around the links for many years now. Good to have you in today, Hatch.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, very good. So Ron is off in North Carolina. He's at Pinehurst, Ronis. I mean, must be a nice life for him.
Yeah.
And he's gone. Gould is out doing some Middle Atlantic event in the rain today. Flooding, right, a canoeing competition.
Yeah, he's rowing
perhaps.
somewhere
He
right
is
now.
rowing somewhere. And am I the only one, buddy, to think, thank God the cicadas are getting drenched? I thought about that today. I was like, these suckers, drown.
Did you see him on the golf course much the other day?
Just a tiny little bit.
They're not too bad on the golf course, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
Hatch, tell them how bad they were at Caves Valley.
Oh, my God. The decibel level was high.
It's unreal.
I was stunned because, as you know, well, if anyone has ever played Caves Valley, and let's give a shout out to our guys you set this round up, Hatcher.
Yes,
These are your guys you've worked with in the D.C. area.
Yes. Steve Halligan, who's a partner with Integrate. They're an IT services and resale company.
Yep.
And the big guy.
Big Steve.
Big Steve Foley.
Steve Foley.
Big Steve, the 6'8" Steve Foley who played basketball at Loyola, Baltimore.
Yeah, they're buddies from Loyola back in the day.
Exactly.
And they were great dudes. And you should have seen Hatcher and Foley just chirping at each other the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Including on 16, they had some match going, and there was an argument as to whether Foley took a swing of the ball up on the hillside or not. Whether it was for a 6 or a 7, and Hatcher was in with a 4.
No, it was a 7 and 8. It was a 7 or 8.
But you were in with a 4. Why were you even
4.
arguing?
Because I need to beat him bad. And he cheated. And he was cheating. He was swinging at the ball over there, and he said it was a practice swing. I know the difference between a practice swing.
When you almost fall down, it's not a practice swing.
Yeah.
Well, Club Pro guy says, when you're going low, 16 is your last opportunity to make sure that you keep that handicap up, right?
Before you get
to,
just a bit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, anyway, we had a great time out there. And stupidly, I didn't even know, boys, that Caves is going to have a tour event this summer. A little thing called the BMW Championship, which is part of a little thing you might know as the FedEx Cup playoffs.
This
is a big deal.
Big deal.
How did I miss this?
I assume
Shame
we'll
on
be
me.
out there.
I would love to be out there.
Yeah.
I think we've got a little bit of it in, but I believe it's a big enough event. They don't need a little podcast like this.
Oh, yes, they do.
What do you mean, yes, they do?
We are the premier
thank you very much.
show in the Washington, D.C. area.
That's what the intro says,
Thank
but
you.
don't believe the intro.
No,
We're
please
just
do.
a little show that could. So they found another 600 yards out there because I think it had topped out previously at 6,900 and change, which was more than enough for me and you and everybody else. But for the pros, wasn't enough. They found 600 yards. There's tee boxes way back there.
Way back there.
Yeah.
7,500.
And yet, I believe the pros are going to go deep.
Tear it up.
At that place.
Destroy it.
Yeah, because it's just gentle enough in terms of the envelopes of the fairways and the width and everything. And it's going to be in August where it just can't be firm and fast enough to scare these guys. It won't be windy enough to scare these guys either.
Well, 7,500 doesn't scare them either.
No,
Not at all.
they don't even blink at that. So anyway, we had a great time out there. It's an amazing club and very lucky to have played it. So
Thank you to my man, Steve Halligan.
yes, thank you, Mr. Halligan. 9 kids Halligan.
9
Wow.
kids.
Devout Catholic Halligan.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Anyway, so we had caddies. And this first segment is an ode to playing golf with a proper caddy. It is a delight that I had forgotten about because I can't remember the last time I played with a caddy. We hit our first tee shots, give the guy the club, and start walking down the fairway. I felt, buddy, like I was walking on air. I was like, what is this? It's an out-of-body experience.
That's some of the best, isn't it?
Isn't it?
It makes you feel like a closer part of the game for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's a great day.
It is a great day. John Ronis, you did some caddying this week at the U.S. Open qualifier at Woodmont Country Club for your friend and pupil, Michael Brennan, freshman at Wake Forest University on the Arnold Palmer Scholarship. How did it go?
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Really?
Michael's an exceptional player. Michael missed the cut to play in the U.S. Open as a freshman in college by 1 stroke. He is legit tour quality and will play in U.S. Opens and may even play in this one because it looks like he's the 4th alternate. So he's got a good chance. He's got playing privileges out there for practice rounds and range privileges, and he's going out there, and I hope he gets it done. That was exceptional playing. I'm not talking it didn't go good or well for that.
Right.
He did great. Me, on the other hand, we're taping this on Friday. I can't walk. Still.
That's true.
I
You
have
were walking
blood
around
blisters.
like you had a load in your pants or something.
What a disaster.
So you got
we don't even have
blisters.
time.
What
to
else
go
do you
through
got? Are you going to take your shoes off for us right
No,
here
I'm not
so
going
people can
to.
watch it
No.
on YouTube?
No.
No, you don't want to see the blisters? Okay.
It's a big blood blister on the bottom of my foot.
What, did you not have proper socks?
I wore
shoes?
just tennis shoes. I tried to be right. After the first 18, we only had 20 minutes between the first 18 because it's 36 holes. It was 100 degrees on Monday.
Right.
I ran to my car, didn't run to my car, waddled to my car. I took my shoes off, stuck my feet on the air conditioners to see if I could just at least get them not wet. And
Yes.
20 minutes, came back to the tee. I then proceeded to count down from 18 because I knew I was in trouble. Now, on the 30th hole, I walked up the par 5 at Woodmont. I think it was the 30th, maybe 31st hole, and started cramping.
Oh, my God.
No, on
Well,
top
so
of
now, so Mikey, so I was going to take my shoes off at this point too because my feet are bleeding, and I was going to take my shoes off, but I didn't. We were on a birdie run, so I didn't want to change the mojo.
Absolutely.
Well, the
Right.
other
Do
guys
that.
playing in the group were out of it, so they're just kind of rooting on Mikey because he's now getting ready to go 4 under on his final 9 holes to make a run at going to the U.S. Open. They're chucking me these tablets. I have no idea what they're throwing me. They're going, just put it in the water, shake it up. I start drinking it. It's not shaking up. The guy goes, just chew them. Just chew the tablets. So I'm chewing these
Potassium
tablets,
tablets.
Whatever they are. I don't know what
Probably
is. They
potassium
work for a little while.
tablets. Yep.
We finish. We're sitting there at the end, and we're waiting for the last group to come in, which could put us in a playoff. And I turned to Michael's dad had been there by now, and I turned to Michael and I go, "Look, Michael, I don't know what the rules are, but can your dad carry for you in the playoff?" And he's
You tapped out?
He's sitting right next to me, and he looks at me and he goes, "He could, but he's not."
That's the right answer.
And he's,
He could, but he's
30
not.
years younger than me, and he scared me. And so I start standing up, trying to, work around. Maybe I could walk and stuff. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get into a playoff. But he's the first alternate out of Woodmont, and he's the 4th alternate overall. And it was an amazing experience. Now, here's the thing about our conversation here. On the first hole, I took the putter out, and I took the head cover off, and I handed him the head cover. And he said,
Why?
"I don't need that. I need the putter." Because I don't caddy. I get caddied for. So if I took my putter out of my own bag, I hand that. No.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah, I
Right,
hand the
right.
head cover to the caddy.
Right.
It gives you an idea of how much I've caddied versus
sure.
been caddied for.
Right.
Having said that, I hope that I was able to carry my weight out there for him. Having a caddy is a joyous experience.
Oh, it's great.
Especially if they're not 100 yards behind you limping. So, but it is wonderful, and I totally agree with you, especially when you have a caddy that really makes the day even more enjoyable than it could have been.
But
So,
you know what?
Sorry for that long-winded,
That's
but
okay.
it was amazing.
Sorry that Michael missed it by a shot. But
He's
there
going
will
to
be
play.
more.
He's getting in. Someone's
Okay.
going to get sick. He's getting in.
Needs a
you
better
did-
caddy. He'll get in. That's the
He'll
one
play
shot
better
of
with a
difference.
better caddy.
And you did your job. You got him right there.
I did.
You were part of that.
I whipped that horse hard coming down the stretch, but he is an ox, and he showed his true colors. He's so good. He's tour caliber.
Hatch.
I got a good caddy story for you as well. I caddied for a buddy of mine. I was like the super last alternate. He calls me at the last minute. It was like for a Maryland qualifier. He's like, Hatch, man, I've tried everybody. I know you have some time because you're a sales guy. You can figure it out. Can you come, can you come caddy for me? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll caddy for you. I didn't know what caddy entailed. I was out there walking with the bag, left his pitching wedge on the hole. Had to run back 2 holes to grab his pitching wedge.
Good thing you can run like a 4.3. My goodness. Wow.
He's like, I need my pitching wedge. I was like,
Where is that?
I left it 2 holes ago. Let me run back and go get it. He was shook.
Man,
Caddying for a friend always sounds like so much fun the night or the day or the week before. And then when you're out there, you're like, this is work, man.
Yes.
This is really actually hard work. I totally respect the guys we had. By the way, here's the picture, Hatch, of you with our caddies at Caves. I love your guy here, by the way, because he's making a face.
Who, Halligan?
No, your caddy.
Caddy. Oh.
Oh, sorry, I'm drawing a line out of here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me, look at that right there.
Yeah. That's trouble.
Dan. His name is Dan.
Dan. Okay,
Yes.
so Dan, do you think that face was because your ball trajectory here?
It's a little low.
It never went above my ankle the whole way. And you know what?
Did that thing get airborne, by the way?
Both of them
did.
have the same face.
It did get airborne. That's the hole I birdied.
Oh,
It
my
is.
goodness.
Yes, it
Remember?
is.
I
Yes,
hit
it is.
it like
you birdied
180
15.
yards that height.
16, yeah.
My second shot. And then I had 148 in, and I smacked it to 3 feet.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
When I saw that picture, I laughed my ass off. I was like, look at the low traj on that bad boy right
I
there.
could barely swing the club. Remember, that's where the hole I was bending over, and you said to me when we were on the tee box, he was like, are you okay, Hatch? I was like, I think I can make it.
Yeah, and I had to say, you're a former professional athlete. How is it that you can make it? And
this guy's carrying 2 bags.
Yeah, exactly.
At least I was only carrying 1.
Yeah.
Right.
So over the years, there have been any number of interesting caddy incidents in golf, and especially in pro golf. I'll just throw one out there that comes to mind. I remember when a guy, forget who it was on tour, fired his caddy mid-round at the Canadian Open and pulled a guy out of.
Right.
You know who that was?
Who was it?
Allenby.
Robert Allenby, right.
After the whole
same
Hawaii
guy
thing.
who got hammered in Hawaii and robbed and made up this whole big story about, I don't know what happened. I got roofied.
Yep.
Wow.
And then he fired a guy 6 months later.
Wow.
Yeah. Does he still have status anywhere?
I see
Allenby?
his name once in a while, but no, I don't think so.
Remember the time Ian Woosnam's caddy?
Oh, I was going to bring that one up.
Yep.
Okay.
That was my story. Yeah.
He rolls off the first tee at the British Open. He was leading.
Yes.
On
It was the
Saturday.
I thought it was the Masters.
No,
it was
British
British,
Open?
and the first
Okay.
hole was a par 3.
Yep.
So he goes to the second hole to hit his drive.
That's right.
And he took the clubs out and threw it. When he found out he had too
threw
many
it like
clubs,
a
he pulled
few
it
drivers.
right there.
Yeah.
He threw them in the bushes. He was like, God. And the caddy's look on his face when he was
It's like, oh, boy.
Last loop.
He was done.
But even the most successful caddy player pairings eventually run out of mojo, and you got to make a change, you know?
Yeah.
Why did Mickelson get rid of Bones, or did Bones just take a TV opportunity and say, you know what, this probably won't present itself ever again. Let's go for it.
I think it's got to be a very difficult life for a caddy. And when you start to see the monetary aspect of it go down and you're gone from your family for that period of time, I think they probably just came up to a conclusion that, look, we've had a good run together. My brother, maybe I would like to slip him some, because his brother, Mickelson's brother is his caddy.
Yes.
Give him a little boost of some income and let him earn it. Sure. And you got a TV opportunity, or you're going to get one. So, it's probably just a mutual agreement. And most of the time, it's not like they hate each other. I don't even think Tiger and Stevie Williams was that miserable a breakup. Tiger and Fluff was not a miserable breakup.
Yeah, what happened with that one?
Well, I think Tiger, Tiger lived in the Jordan kind of world of don't trust anyone. And I think as Fluff started to do, commercials for Grips or whatever he was doing and got a little bit popular. And then Stevie was, Pennzoil or whatever he was riding around. And Butch, I think he kind of was, okay, these guys are getting a little bit too comfortable and popular. I'm moving on because they're making everything off of me.
Right. Do you remember what Bruce Edwards, the late Bruce Edwards, said? He used to caddy for Norman after Norman had a lot of close calls in majors and didn't come through. And I think Norman said to him, God, I can't catch a break or something like that. And Edwards said, I just want to caddy for a guy who's got heart. And they split up after that.
Wow.
That dagger right there.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, you're hitting the shots. All I can do, give you the yardage, give you the best advice possible. And I love it, too, when caddies on tour have to accept the fact it's the player's call. They know it's a bad idea.
Right.
And then they have to say, okay, I like that. All right, good swing. Good swing. Go ahead. Visualize the target. They feed them just some little pablum of, okay, I think this is a terrible idea, but go for it. Yes.
Part psychologist, right? They got to know how to play.
Exactly.
Great if he had like something in their mind
Right.
as they pull the bag away, and you can hear them say, "He's got no chance."
He's got no chance whatsoever.
I'll give you a perfect example of that. From
Yeah.
a movie, Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
Yep.
Remember that
Yep.
scene where he told him?
He's like, no, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it. I'm walking off if
Right,
you do that.
do that.
Don't do that. Exactly. Well, being able to play golf with a caddy is great, not just from a freedom standpoint. You're really in touch with the golf course. You're not worried about driving the cart, parking the cart, doing this, da-da-da-da-da. But the conversation. We started I got to meet your friends Steve and Steve right from the first hole, and that made a huge difference.
Right.
Yeah, so it was good times. And, at a nice club, you can have a caddy pretty much anytime you want as long as you got the scratch for it. Other clubs, not so much. There was a guy that started a caddy program that would go to all different courses. You're nodding your head, buddy?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. It was a very ambitious thing, and I love the concept. I don't know if it's still going.
So I think it's on a different iteration now. It's called Caddy Now.
Okay.
But is Mike Aldrich the name that you're
Sounds
thinking of?
about right, yeah.
Now I think it was Mike.
Mike was involved in one
that.
before.
Yeah,
and
it was
then
before because we had it at Woodmont, and the primary reason was you either have what happened was employment laws kind of changed
For gig contractors. This was a gig contractor kind of thing.
So you either have to have the caddies sitting there on payroll.
Premises. Oh, right, okay.
Because of insurance. They'd be sitting there and you'd have to be paying them by the hour. Or they'd be independent contractors. An independent contractor, kind of some laws changed. So these companies came in and handled all that.
Right.
So that the clubs didn't have to. And the liability on top of that.
There's a lot of liability, yeah. And you got to train these kids, too, to be at least serviceable. They don't have to be great caddies, but they got to know a little bit about golf.
Yeah.
And they got to want to work.
It's
That's
hard.
the hardest thing.
It's hard.
You got to have kids that want to get out in the heat and hoof a bag or two.
But good pay for a 15 or 16-year-old when you're talking $20, $25 an hour.
Right.
I guess it's good pay. Some of these kids are spoiled rotten. They're already on daddy's payroll. Exactly. They're like, this is not good pay. $100 for 4 hours of work? No thanks.
That's amazing.
You and I would
Great
say
pay.
it's amazing. We worked for that for even less back in the day.
Way less.
Way less. All right, coming up, segment number 2 here of the Capital Golf Gang, presented by Golfdom. We're live, plausibly so, inside Golfdom in the fitting bay, the Callaway Bay, our main bay here, and we'll play a quick 9 next. Don't go away.
You are listening to the Capital Golf Gang. 4 guys who once dreamed of becoming caddies on the PGA Tour until they found out you have to take the blame for everything. You are listening to the Capital Golf Gang. 4 guys who all carry a perfect club, an alien wedge, a double-sided chipper, and a 20-foot ball retriever.
We're back inside the hitting bay here at Golfdom. Come on in on a day like today when it's raining cats and dogs on a Friday. Buddy just looks at the front door and smiles. Here they come.
Yeah, but they need time to play too, and that's going to be this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. It'll get nice this weekend, but today is a washout. Good to be inside here. Buddy Christensen, owner of Golfdom, to my left. John Ronas. Can I break this news?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
You're wearing a name tag, though, which is good for you.
Someone will start asking me questions in here. Tell me about that new Callaway driver.
John Ronas of the Ronas Golf Academy at River Creek, and my buddy Bryant Hatcher. who got shut out of your member guest, you say, over at Lansdowne?
Yes, I did.
You were close. You were the 60th alternate.
60th alternate.
Lord have mercy.
60th alternate.
So if a bus carrying 59 other members went over a cliff, they'd call you and say
They'd
you're
call
in.
me, yes.
And
the reason why, let me tell you why. I'm not gonna put Lansdowne.
Not gonna throw them under the bus,
throw
but
them under the bus.
It's tough.
It's because I finished dead last year in my flight.
Oh no!
And everyone who finishes dead last out of the 16 flights gets tossed into the bucket,
back in the pool.
Back in the pool.
Did you know you were facing that horrible fate?
Oh yes.
Oh, you did.
I
Okay.
knew it last year in our last match.
And you were grinding, but
we were grinding.
Couldn't dig it out of the.
We were in the top. We were in the top group, the top flight, and we ended up dead last.
Okay. I think a future episode we'll have to talk exclusively about member guests because it's a fascinating world. And, Buddy, you at Westwood say that it's harder and harder to get into your member guest now, but once upon a time they were worried about getting enough people.
Yeah, years ago. But, yes, the last 10 to 12 years has been very strong. But before that, I remember days where they had to ask people.
I hope everyone's going to show up. All right, let's play a quick 9. Here we go. Hole number 1, you talked about the fate of your colleague student Michael Brennan missing the U.S. Open by a shot at Woodmont. That's a tough one. Is it as tough though as what happened to John Catlin, a guy who actually started the PGA Championship and finished top 10? I want to say he's got a tour card and he was trying to qualify for the U.S. Open. Got hit with not one, not two, but 3 slow play penalty strokes and missed qualifying by a shot.
He had a
How
poor
about
caddy.
them apples?
Very poor caddy.
3 of them.
Now, I read this. He was penalized previously in another tournament for slow play.
Yes.
So
You're saying
seems
it's
like
kinda
there's a little something there.
All right. Let me add this to the mix. What if I told you one of the guys in his group shot 85?
I play with guys who can shoot 85 in no time.
Okay, but not at a U.S. Open qualifier, the final stage, right? You shouldn't be shooting 85.
No, not
No,
the final
no,
stage.
And
Almost
especially not
impossible.
at a place like, Richland, Washington. It was not, one of the big ones. All right, what if I told you that there was a 15-minute ruling that delayed the group?
Yeah.
I mean, see, the way they did it was they hit the whole group with penalties. And one of the mitigating factors was the tour official, and this is when John Gould gets back on the show, we'll ask him, said that they didn't notice any discernible effort to speed up by the group. So it seems like they just didn't care.
Yeah.
And they hit him. How tough is that? Question. How bitter does John Catlin deserve to be missing the Open by a shot with 3 slow play penalties?
It depends if he felt like he was, slow players never feel like they're responsible for it, but
What?
if it was something that, that the 85 or the ruling or all that other stuff, I'm really against penalizing the whole group for slow play. I think you should just find out who's doing it, put them on the clock, and the individual gets penalized.
But it gets sticky once you're doing individual clockings.
So in that regard, I think he should be probably a little bit better.
Buddy?
I mean, how bad does the guy who shot 85 feel? I mean,
He probably doesn't feel anything, like Rona said. He doesn't think he played slow.
Yeah, but he
probably thinks he was
part
3
of,
swings from a 74.
right or wrong, he was part of the reason this guy's not at the U.S. Open. I mean, in some way, he was there.
And we talked about this last week about leaving a tournament. And, in that particular case, maybe you do.
Hatch, any sympathy for slow play?
I have no sympathy for
None
slow
whatsoever.
play. You know how I am.
I know.
Quick
draw McGraw.
That's right. I am ready to go.
Your boy Foley, he was human rain delay at times.
Oh, my God.
Getting himself sorted out. Nicest guy ever.
Oh,
but,
my God. 28 practice swings. He's already shooting 100. Come on, man. So my question is about the slow play thing, and he got the 3 penalties, is Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, what about
who
him?
everyone talks about plays slow. Now, when
He doesn't think he does.
They never do.
Slow player thinks they do.
Well, Koepka obviously thinks he plays slow.
Right.
So if Koepka and DeChambeau are in the same group, they all get penalized for DeChambeau's slow play?
Not at the tour level, I don't think.
I've never heard of multiple guys getting.
I don't.
This is
I think this is a qualifier thing. I don't think it was at the tour level. But yeah, the big question is: do you want to see the USGA hand pair those guys together?
Yes,
I'd love
absolutely.
You do.
Yes.
See, I disagree. I want it to happen naturally. Let's let this thing build, because once you smash them together and nothing really happens, then it's kind of over. So we'll see. Okay, hole number 2. Recommend one great golf book.
Well, the one that I would go with is Hogan's 5 Fundamentals. As just a timeless book that new golfers can read it and really kind of understand what's going on, and it's nice to go back and look at it.
John Rodas?
Harvey Penick's Little Red Book, just because I don't agree with Hogan's 5 things. But yeah, it's simple, it's big letters, it's short, and it's very simple to read. It's not complicated. I love the book.
Hatcher?
Tiger Woods is
which
book.
one? A
His
lot of
one,
books about him.
How he came up.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, but it was the Tiger Woods autobiography that he approved or the unapproved? Because guys have written ones about him without his
unapproved.
Oh, the unapproved. Oh,
and
wow.
I like the one that was on HBO, the show that was on HBO about him.
Oh, that was tremendous.
Good. That was unapproved.
That
too.
was stunning. Did you ever see that, Ronas?
No.
I got to get you that, buddy. Did you ever see that?
I saw it. Yeah, it was good.
What'd you think?
I expected to not like it and think it was a slander type of thing.
A lot of people thought it was unfair. I thought it was illuminating.
No, I thought it was too.
I came across it with a more sympathetic view of Tiger.
I agree.
After that, when it was said and done. Golf in the Kingdom, Michael Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
That's very.
And if not Golf in the Kingdom, then I would say Extraordinary Golf, which you, Ronas, recommended to me.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Just a more holistic thought about the game.
If you have a junior golfer, you might want to read Raising a Junior Golfer by me. I wrote a book this winter.
Did you really?
I did.
It should
Is
be
it
your
out?
favorite.
It's not out yet.
Well, then you can't buy it. Don't
you-
recommend a book you can't buy.
I'm putting the marketing in place.
Do you have illustrations for it?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Photographs, actually. They're not illustrations. They're actual photographs.
We'll
Have you
stock some here.
You ever seen the joke books, which is, how to 4-putt for a 92 or something like
Yeah.
that? You might carry some. Do you carry some books here?
So we used to,
buddy?
20 years ago, we sold a lot of books. It's with the world the way it is today.
They all want digital.
Very, very few. And matter of fact, the other book I would say that I always liked, and it's called From 60 Yards and In, Raymond Floyd.
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
a short game book
Yep.
that I think's awesome, but I don't even think it's out there anymore.
Okay. If you want to mess somebody up, buy them The Golfing Machine by Homer Smith.
Oh, my God.
And say, please read this whole thing and get back to me. They'll be so turned inside out,
be in an
you won't
institution.
believe it. Hole number 3. Should Tiger have accepted NBC's invite to join the U.S. Open broadcast? Hatcher, start with you.
I think so.
Yeah.
It gets him back out there.
And he would provide insights at Torrey Pines, where, of course, he had his most epic moment, winning the Open on a leg that should have fallen apart, and playing there many times as a junior.
Correct.
I guess he just didn't feel like doing it. He could have done it from home. They could have Skyped him in. Ronas, should he have been on the broadcast?
I think that the answer for him is no. For us, it's yes. We would love that.
Okay.
But for him, you know what? It's time for him to think about himself for a little while.
Okay.
And just say no.
Buddy?
I agree with John. Be interesting if they would have asked Phil had he not won the PGA and not gotten into the U.S. Open because they gave
had
him
an
an
exemption.
exemption. That's
Yeah.
right. So he was in either way. But
Yeah.
but he's another one that's tied to Torrey. But I think we're going to hear a lot about the Tiger 2008 tournament. So we'll see enough of that. And I just hope he's getting better and we see him play again.
I think for our sake, we would have liked it, Ronas. You're right. But I think for his sake, I get it. I don't think he wants to be in that role right now. I think he's focused on getting back to playing.
I think so too.
Sort of like when Nicklaus said, I don't want to be a ceremonial golfer.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset of all the greats.
And I think Tiger, he thinks that if he goes to the booth like all the other players, it's done.
It's done, right?
It's done.
You don't want to put that out there.
Right.
Hole number 4. What's worse? Back-to-back par 5s on a layout or the 18th hole being a par 3? The bigger routing error in your mind? Hatcher.
Wow. I think the 18th hole being a par 3.
Okay.
I don't know.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
As John Ronas loves to say, his favorite word, unacceptable.
Unacceptable behavior.
Dripping with contempt.
Yes.
All right, what do you think?
I'm going to actually agree with that. I don't like either of them, and I don't. It just makes no sense to me. But ending on a par 3, I just don't like. I don't think it gives you the opportunity with as many shots to mess up to win a match.
Okay.
And
Buddy?
I totally agree. As a matter of fact, the Congressional had the U.S. Open with the par 3 at the
on
end.
18.
And
Didn't
just
feel right.
It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. I would say back-to-back par 5s are bad because you can always make one a par 4. Make one a par 4.
Yeah.
Don't give me back-to-back par 5s. Hole number 5. What club can only make your club can only make one renovation? They only got budget for one renovation. It's either new bunkers or new carpeting in the clubhouse. Which do you choose? Hatch?
Well, Lansdowne already did the bunkers.
Okay.
So it would be.
But if you had your choice, if it was a vote.
If it was a vote,
yeah,
the bunkers.
Okay.
Can I just take this? I would say bunkers also, but it depends on the club, because if you have a club it's an older club and things like that, they're using more of the rug and the carpet than they care about the bunkers. It kind of depends upon the club itself, but the obvious answer is bunkers.
Okay, well, it says you, buddy.
I think the obvious answer, too. And if we've already done the bunkers, let's take those dollars and do something else on the golf course rather than the carpet. But at some point, you got to deal with the carpet. But no bunkers.
Right. You guys are wrong. You carpet the bunkers, and then you pocket the change.
That's perfect.
And you just go from there.
The problem is, if your course has a lot of bunkers and they all stink, it doesn't play for good golf.
That's true.
It's terrible.
Stay out of them, though. It's supposed to be a hazard. You know, the bunkers they redid at Caves, and they're beautiful. They're spectacular, but they're so firm and perfect. I didn't know if they were really hazards. I had one drive that landed in the bunker, rolled through, up a 5-foot lip, and onto a nice tuft of grass. I said, well, that's lucky.
Yeah.
So that would not normally happen in other places. Hole number 6, should you play golf or hit actual golf shots with sunglasses on? Or should you do it with them off? I'm going to ask you to start, John Ronas. You're the instructor. You know, Phil now plays whole rounds with his glasses on, which is kind of weird.
Glasses have gotten a lot better. Little shout out for Oakley. It's the only glass for me that doesn't give a bowl effect. It's the only glass I could wear and play golf with. You know, I'm not as precise anymore that I worry about it as much, but I normally would say no. I don't like the sunglasses.
So for the actual shot, take them off.
Yeah, and reading the green, take them off.
Okay. Hatch?
Well, you know, from the neck up, I don't even put anything on.
Not even a hat.
Not even a hat.
Hatch is out there with a towel at Caves. He's blistering out. I go, they have these things called hats. They soak up sweat. They shield your eyes from the sun. He's like, I don't wear those.
Yep.
So you don't wear sunglasses either?
I don't wear sunglasses either.
All right.
Can't do the sunglasses. I cannot play golf with sunglasses.
It's hard. It feels like it puts one more thing in front of you, and just, I don't know. Doesn't seem to register with me. Hole number 7. Whatever happened to kick golf or the 15-inch hole idea? Remember those?
Yes.
COVID.
No. Those ideas died of their own stupid merit.
Well, I know, but what happened was all those were out there for was because there was an underutilization of golf courses. It's the only reason they were out there. So what happened was golf courses closed. The ones that should have closed. And then the courses that were open were getting golfers instead of needing to rent it out to your local kickball team.
Okay.
And TaylorMade was actually in the early, maybe 2012, 13, 14.
There's the picture there. Look at that. The 15-inch hole. Do you know what yipping a 4-footer on a 15-inch hole would feel like? The shame involved in that.
But TaylorMade was doing something called hack golf, or looking into it. And we went down to the show one year, and they had this presentation the night before the show. It was 2 hours. They had a couple speakers, and Mark King from TaylorMade went through this whole thing. The media was there, and this whole hack golf thing. Nothing came of it that I'm aware of. But they made a big deal about it.
Hat golf? What
hack.
Oh,
like
hack golf.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone's like, that's a little offensive to, so I don't know what the actual ultimate.
I think it was called foot golf, not soccer golf. And I believe Lansdowne over on the kids' Shark Bite had this set up, Hatch.
They did. I remember now that you brought it up. They did have it set up.
It's the worst idea ever. Like, but it'll get people close to the game. They may take up golf. No, it's going to be a bunch of soccer ninnies running around on a golf course.
Kind of like
How about a no?
Frisbee golf.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Nothing against Frisbee golf, but go play Frisbee golf. Where are you going to play Frisbee golf?
In the woods. Well, they have it set up.
In the woods with your loser friends. Wait, did I say that out loud? Sorry about that.
Come on.
Top Golf ended up doing what they were talking about this trying to do as far as getting some interest in the game.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
All right, hole number 8, quick 9. Can you ever trust an opponent who blatantly miscounts his score more than one time? I give him one, Hatch, and then I'm like, bro, you got a counting problem.
Oh, yes. And you obviously saw me do that.
I saw
to somebody at Caves Valley.
But I think
I watched him.
Your dispute was not the number of strokes. It was whether his practice stroke was an actual real shot. So it's a slightly different thing. I'm talking about a guy who's like, yeah, it is 6. And you go, 7. And they go, oh, yeah, 7.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I forgot. You get one I forgot, and then you're under strict surveillance.
How can you forget? It's
People
5 strokes.
What?
Over a 10-minute period of time.
Well, it might be
and
7.
you're forgetting?
Might be 8. Once the carnage gets big, you start losing count.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
It's not 25.
Hey, Clint Eastwood
7.
lost count of the bullets in his gun in a movie once, and all the excitement.
That was my problem at
ridiculous.
Caves Valley. Steve tried to say it was a par 5, the one that I birdied, and he was trying to say he was up 50 yards from the green in 2. And he would hit it, and he shanked his 3rd shot up on the hill. And I was like, no, that was your 3rd shot. Then your 4th shot shanked, and then you missed your 5th shot, and then you bladed it across the green on your 6th shot. He's like, no, I'm only putting for 7. I go, you're in the trap for 6.
You got to count this a few times.
You hit 7 on the green, and you're I hit his ball back to him and said, I'm putting you out of your misery. This is 8, and I'm giving you 8. He's like, no, I was putting for 6. Remember?
I do remember. The great thing is, it was the most intense, cordial argument I've ever seen. Because it was intense, but it didn't get ugly.
No.
And you guys are still friends, which is great. All right, hole number 9, last one. Do you believe in slope? Do you believe in slope?
I don't even know what it is.
Honestly, so to look at that, I struggle with that a little bit. It's on my little rangefinder, but some people love it and they swear by it.
Slope on the rangefinder?
Yeah.
I absolutely do.
You believe in slope?
Absolutely.
You don't think it's voodoo?
No.
I believe in it too.
No. We used
it worked.
We used it on
for
Monday.
Me Wednesday. Because a guy did it, and he goes, it's 135, slope 128. And I changed clubs and stuck it 4 feet from the pin.
Really?
We had it all marked from the practice round before on Monday because you can use it on your practice round. It worked.
I think it's voodoo. I don't need to know slope. Just give me the raw yardage or go 1 up or 1 down. We're amateurs. We're not pros. All right, coming up, final segment here on the Capital Golf Gang, presented by Golfdom, indoors inside the fitting studio, the Callaway Hitting Bay here. Come on down, get fit for some clubs. A plethora of golf equipment for all your needs.
You are listening to the Capital Golf Gang. 4 guys who still don't know the difference between red stakes, yellow stakes, and white stakes. Except they're all bad. You are listening to the Capital Golf Gang. 4 guys who have to come up with creative excuses to their wives for those grass stains on their pants.
We're back. Final segment here this week. Thank you for downloading and thank you for listening. Always feedback welcome at zabe@yahoo.com. Buddy Christensen with us here, owner of Golfdom. Did you bring any toys to the set? I think we might have forgot that. And now we're pinned down. Talk to me about what's hot here inside the store.
Well, there's a lot of things that are hot right now, Zabe. It's it's middle of the season. We talked about member guest season. People sprucing up their bags and their equipment. Across the board, most equipment selling very, very well right now. There's the constraints of grips and shafts and getting the right mix together.
Right.
But Callaway, TaylorMade having phenomenal years, Ping, Titleist having phenomenal years, and just kind of, rolling on through it right now. It's really a battle of getting the equipment in. You guys got to walk through the equipment room. We're fighting to keep it filled up, but that's the battle right now.
Look, I fit people for clubs. I sell people clubs, right?
Yeah.
But here's the difference. Every manufacturer right now, whether it's a grip or a shaft, we get a list of shafts by companies every week that say don't fit them for these shafts or don't do this.
Because
they're taking so long to get.
Okay.
The difference is when you look at this place, we have hundreds upon hundreds of golf clubs in stock. Most people fit to something that Buddy has here in stock. Mm-hmm. We're looking at 3, not with Callaway. They've been great.
Yep.
But there's a few other companies that have quality clubs that you could order a standard set and they could take 3 or 4 weeks to get here. And you can walk into Golfdom, and you have a very good chance of walking out of here with the piece of equipment that you just got fit for. That is a benefit for all the people in this area. It's appreciated by golf pros as well. Even though we're somewhat competing with you, I send a lot of people here because they just need it. They need it quicker.
Yeah.
And,
and
you have it, and you got to stick your neck out. I have 6 in my shop. You have 600.
Yeah.
You know, that's hard.
I appreciate you saying that. And we do try to support the local pros and feel that support from them as well. But, and we can, John's here, we can tweak the clubs within too. So we're fighting to get whatever we can that's as close as what they're going to need. But then if it comes down to we got to make these manipulations and get these shafts and put them in, we're able to do that as well. And it's been a lot of that. And you say 3 to 4 weeks. Some of the stuff's 6, 8, 10 weeks.
I don't want to mention the company.
No, but it is unheard of right now. And it's been something we've been preparing for since January, February to just buy as much as we can get in here because of the constraint behind it, where if you don't get it, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
All right, I want to talk construction with you, Mr. Ronis. By the way, you can book a lesson at the Ronis Golf Academy at River Creek. This was an amazing side-by-side at the U.S. Women's Open at Olympic, where poor Lexi Thompson, 41 on the back nine, coming home. Olympic is a graveyard for great players that couldn't bring it home, starting with Hogan against Jack Fleck back in the day. Arnie threw one away at Olympic. My guy Furyk snipe hooked one on his way to possibly winning last time there. It just happens, right? But Yuko Saso, the women's champ, has a golf swing that when I saw it, I said, oh, my God, it's a carbon copy of Rory. Look at this side-by-side here and just tell me it's not freakish how dead on they are. She said that she imitated Rory. All right, Kate, we're at the top. We're going to pause right there. Ronis, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with first of all, the base getting loaded on that right side, and then the spine angle tilting to the right side and width. It's pretty phenomenal, actually. And Rory doesn't have the most normal wrist position at the top, left wrist position at the top. So it is freakish right there. Holy smokes.
Really good right there. And then down through the ball.
That drop.
Look at that. Oh, and a little bit of liftoff at impact as their lower body's already cleared entirely out of the way.
Jeez.
Yuka Saso, your U.S. women's.
And she said that she emulated him when he was, or watched him when he was little.
Yeah, that's not a bad one to copy. Who was the guy? It was Thomas who said he didn't like Rory's swing on this very set. Remember that?
Yeah.
I said, shut your mouth. Don't you blaspheme in the house
Been
of
watching
Rory.
too many race cars.
That's my guy right there.
I like Rory's swing, too.
Oh, God, yeah. How can you not like it?
There's something to be said about if you wanted to indoctrinate someone into a swing that you'd had them just watch it over and over and over and over and over, right? I mean, you can't do that in other sports because it's much more reactionary.
Yeah.
You almost have to find. But if you had a little kid just sit there and watch, I think 10 or 12 hours a day is fine for a 4-year-old to be watching, Rory swing. I think you got a chance.
There's a lot of money at the end of the day if they do that, right?
Every time I watch golf on TV and go out and play, I play better.
Wow. Probably
because
tempo.
I watch their tempo.
Yeah.
And then I go out and say, I need to emulate that same tempo. I always play better if I watch golf and go play.
Me and your boy McGowan went up to the LPGA at Bully Rock one year and sat on the range and watched these gals. And I tell you, I just absorbed it osmotically. I was in a state of grace tempo-wise for about a week.
Yeah.
And then it went away.
Of course.
Yeah. But for a week, it was like, wow, it's great. Hatch, you're a athlete, played football at Cincinnati and briefly in the CFL. Ronis, you've coached baseball. Buddy, you've coached baseball as well. Your kids play baseball. Yep. Do we believe in jinxes? Like, don't jinx it, like when there's a no-hitter, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
We're all kind of a little bit superstitious. Yes. Hatcher, by the way, believes when a crow caws prior to your backswing, you better step away, right?
Step away. That's right. Call. Every time I've seen bad shots happen, and I'm like, you better step away. There it goes. It's going to happen.
So here's the ultimate jinx, and sadly it ended in tragedy. The Washington Post put out a tweet that said, the U.S. has gone the longest into the year without a lightning death in the history since they started tracking this.
Why? Why say it?
Why
say
6
it?
hours later, headline, New Jersey man killed on golf course. I'm not laughing. It's terrible.
No, but why
he was 80, though.
He was.
But
Come on, it doesn't matter. He was 80.
He said 80.
He's going to live to 110.
Yeah,
My goodness.
And we had to stop twice at Caves because of lightning. And it's always the reaction of, oh, it's not even close. Come on, let's just play.
Get off the course.
Get up, yes.
You're strolling around with metal heads, and it's probably rained already. There's water on the ground. You got to it's a dangerous thing. It could hit you so far away and come in up your shoes or whatever. I guess we don't have spikes as much, but
no. But this guy, it hit a tree near this guy, and he was in his 70s. So I apologize.
Yeah.
70s,
well, and the technology now is they're in tune with these things coming in. When we were growing up, you just once you heard a little bit of thunder, you're like,
uh-oh. Roll under the first tree we saw,
yeah.
and that could be the only tree on a hole. And where do they say now not to stand?
Right.
On the only tree in an open field.
Right.
You're supposed to now lay down.
You're supposed to lay down in an open spot in a low area of the course. Oh, I'm going to go lay down in a ditch and get
then
soaked.
Flash flood
with
comes
the snakes
and you drown.
and the turtles and everything. Yeah, right.
I'm not laying down. I'm running full speed.
Anyway, lightning is serious stuff, so don't fool around with it. But, man, that was the ultimate jinx right there. Wow. Okay, any last thoughts? Oh, yeah, one last thought. I guess we'll give it one more lick. The Bryson DeChambeau versus Brooks Koepka thing. Koepka spoke this week saying he thinks it's good for the game of golf. Maybe. I don't see anyone, though, Hatch, picking up a golf club and saying, I'd like to play this game because I heard these two guys were chirping at each other. You like it, though.
I love it.
As a inveterate trash talker, you love it.
Exactly. I love it.
Okay.
I like to see personalities. There's too many robots out
That's
there.
true.
All with the same swing, all saying the same thing.
Okay.
Let's get some personalities, and with personalities comes income.
Yeah.
Eventually.
With eventual income.
Is it good for the game of golf? Maybe not. Is it good for the entertainment of golf? Yes.
Yes. And that's what it is when it's on TV.
Yeah.
It's entertainment.
Right.
And you can put it all together by putting them together at the U.S. Open. Unnaturally, let's do it.
No, you let the storyline build. You got to think like Vince McMahon. This thing has to span 4 or 5 months until it finally happens in the final pairing.
I'm ready for it now.
You're ready for it now. Book the match. Let's get it done. All right, guys, great run today. Thank you so much for coming out. Buddy, thank you for hosting us, as always.
Thank you.
The sun will come out tomorrow, as Annie once sang. Ronis, good to see you. Hatch, thanks for rolling on by. Thanks for the hookup at Caves Valley. It's fantastic. Everyone, enjoy the golf while we have it on our plate here in the summertime in D.C., despite the cicadas, despite the occasional rainstorms, and get under the golfdom and get yourself fully equipped. We'll see you next week on the Capital Golf Gang here on the Team 980.
This has been the Capital Golf Gang on the Team 980. If you'd like the gang to visit your home course, send your inquiries to zabe@yahoo.com. That's CZABE @yahoo.com. Or visit the show page at www.theteam980.com. And for free swag, we're all in extra large. So yeah, thanks for the shirts.